2. Oh, searing pain! Oh my gosh!
The insect world is full of jaw-dropping surprises, from wasps with unbelievably painful stings to beetles large enough to eclipse the palm of your hand.
Okay, my hand is completely seized up and locked in place. This is like the Tarantula Hawk.
Ever wonder if these massive, sometimes dangerous creatures really exist? They do, and they're more intriguing than any science fiction nightmare. Let's explore 20 gigantic insects that roam our planet.
There is no question about it, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm going to be stung by a bullet ant.
Japanese giant hornet. These fearsome hornets can reach lengths of nearly 2 inches, making them the largest hornets in the world. Their orange heads and dark abdomens are instantly recognizable, but it's the potent venom that makes them truly scary. Each year in rural Japan, these hornets send dozens of people to the hospital, especially hikers who stumble too close to their nests. One documented case involved a farmer who suffered multiple stings while harvesting crops, requiring immediate medical attention. The venom attacks tissue and can trigger lethal allergic reactions in some. Despite their dangerous reputation, Japanese giant hornets play an important ecological role by hunting pests like caterpillars. Their huge mandibles slice through prey with ease, supplying valuable protein to their developing brood back in the colony's paper-like nest. Famous for a sting said to feel like a gunshot wound, bullet ants inhabit the rainforests of Central and South America. They grow to about an inch in length and boast large pincers, alongside a fearsome stinger. One documented tradition among the Maui people in Brazil involves young men wearing gloves filled with bullet ants as a rite of passage, each sting delivering an electrifying jolt of pain. The ants release a neurotoxin called ponerotoxin, causing swelling and waves of throbbing aches that can last an entire day. Yet bullet ants are not merely tormentors of unfortunate victims. They also function as vital predators of other insects, maintaining a natural balance in their forest ecosystems. Their tiny societies also demonstrate fascinating cooperation in building nests and defending territory. Tarantula Hawk. With glossy blue-black bodies and fiery orange wings, tarantula hawks are wasps that can measure up to 2.5 inches long. Their name comes from a singular, chilling hunting style, paralyzing tarantulas with a venomous sting, then dragging them away as living nurseries for their developing larvae. One well-documented observation in the American Southwest showed a female wasp wrestling a tarantula 4 times her size before swiftly stinging it into paralysis. Although their sting is reputed to be agonizing, tarantula hawks rarely target humans unless threatened. Adults drink nectar, particularly from milkweed plants, and are considered valuable pollinators. They're also famous for ranking high on the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, described as a blinding, fierce sensation that thankfully subsides after a few minutes. Titan beetle. The colossal titan beetle prowls the rainforests of South America and can reach lengths of nearly 7 inches, placing it among the largest beetles on Earth. Local foresters in French Guiana have reported encounters with these armor-clad giants, sometimes finding them crashing into lanterns at night. Armed with powerful mandibles, a titan beetle can snap a pencil in half or deliver a painful pinch to anyone who mishandles it. Despite such defensive might, they rarely instigate attacks on humans. Their life cycle remains somewhat mysterious. Scientists believe their larvae develop deep within rotting wood, quietly maturing over several years before emerging as adults. Although they cannot eat once fully grown, these beetles remain determined to find mates under the dense rainforest canopy. Their thick exoskeleton and dramatic size inspire both awe and caution. Giant water bug. Giant water bugs can grow to around 4 inches in length and lurk in ponds or slow-moving streams on multiple continents. Some people call them toe biters because stepping on one by accident can earn you an unpleasant jab from their sharp rostrum. A documented incident in Southeast Asia involved a fisherman who picked one up, mistaking it for debris, only to receive a nasty bite that caused immediate swelling. Despite their menace, these underwater predators show an unexpected touch of parental devotion. Male giant water bugs often carry eggs on their backs, ferrying them to the water's surface for oxygen. Equipped with claw-like forelegs and potent saliva that liquefies prey, they can tackle creatures as large as small fish. Once you see their formidable approach beneath the water's surface, you'll never forget them. Giant Weater. Hailing from New Zealand, the giant Weater can tip the scales at over 2 ounces, heavier than a typical house sparrow. Though bulky and prickly-legged, these insects pose no real threat to humans. In one documented study, conservationists relocated giant wetters to predator-free offshore islands to safeguard them from invasive mammals. Their name, in the Maori language, translates roughly to God of Ugly Things, yet they hold a special place in the local ecosystem, nibbling on leaves and fruit. When threatened, a giant wetter may raise its spiny hind legs in warning. If that fails, it can produce a rasping noise to deter attackers. Mostly nocturnal, giant wetters spend daylight hours hidden under logs or stones. Their ancient lineage, stretching back millions of years, makes them living fossils worthy of respect. Phobeticus chani, Chan's megastic. Reaching lengths of more than 22 inches, this stick insect is among the longest insects ever documented. One notable specimen found in Borneo caused a stir in the scientific community for its extreme proportions. Phobeticus chani uses remarkable camouflage. Its slender, twig-like body disappears among rainforest branches and leaves. When threatened by birds or lizards, it remains motionless or sways gently to mimic foliage swaying in the wind. Although they appear fragile, these insects can startle predators by abruptly fluttering their vestigial wings, revealing bright colors beneath. Female megastics drop eggs that resemble seeds to the forest floor, sometimes tricking ants into carrying them underground. Newly hatched nymphs blend seamlessly with their environment, continuing the cycle of life in near secrecy. Their uncanny mimicry highlights evolution's creativity and cunning strategies. White witch moth. The white witch moth boasts one of the largest wingspans in the insect world, stretching up to a remarkable 12 inches. With cryptic patterns reminiscent of swirling ghosts, it has earned names like the ghost moth or great owlet moth. Over the years, researchers have documented sightings from Mexico down to Brazil, yet the species remains elusive. Some individuals have even drifted into the southern United States during migratory flights. Despite its imposing size, the moth is harmless, lacking any stinger or venomous defense. The caterpillars feed on a variety of plants, but many details of their life cycle still puzzle scientists. Although large, they often hide in dense foliage, cloaking themselves in dappled shade. Catching a glimpse of this rare species feels like encountering an apparition in the moonlit rainforest. Goliath Beetle. These African giants can weigh up to 3.5 ounces in their larval stage, making them among the heaviest insects on Earth. Adults measure up to 4.3 inches in length and display bold markings in black, white, and brown. Local farmers have reported seeing Goliath beetles rummaging through fallen fruit or feeding at sap flows. Though their horns look intimidating, these beetles rarely attack humans. Males often clash with each other for territory, or females, using specialized horns to push rivals away. As larvae, they thrive on decaying plant matter, helping forests by recycling nutrients. Upon pupation, they emerge as robust adults with tough exoskeletons capable of flight. Their short adult lives revolve around reproduction, after which they leave behind another generation poised to continue their massive legacy beneath African canopies. Elephant beetle. Found in the rainforests of Central and South America, the elephant beetle derives its name from its elongated, trunk-like horn. Males are large, sometimes exceeding 5 inches in length, and use their impressive horns to wrestle competitors off branches or logs. Local tribes have observed territorial battles, with one male flipping another completely upside down to claim a feeding site. Females, lacking such horns, are smaller and dedicated to finding mates and laying eggs in decaying wood. Both sexes develop from white grub-like larvae that feast on decomposing vegetation, making them essential recyclers. Though they can appear fearsome, elephant beetles generally steer clear of humans and only use their horns to defend themselves when provoked. Their polished black or yellowish-brown elytra add to their imposing, almost prehistoric appearance in forest darkness. Giant burrowing cockroach. Unlike the typical household pest, the giant burrowing cockroach of Australia can weigh over an ounce and reach about 3 inches in length. In some places, people even keep them as pets, thanks to their surprisingly gentle nature. Found mostly in Queensland, they excavate tunnels in sandy soil, sometimes stretching more than 3 feet deep. One recorded account describes a pet giant burrowing cockroach living nearly a decade, a testament to their hardy constitution. At night, these cockroaches emerge to feed on dry leaves, shedding them into smaller particles that enrich the soil. They're wingless and rely on their strong, armor-like exoskeleton for protection. When threatened, they can produce a hissing sound by forcing air through spiracles in their abdomen. Far from being a dreaded pest, this large cockroach helps maintain the delicate balance of its native environment. Malaysian jungle nymph. The Malaysian jungle nymph, found in tropical forests of Southeast Asia, is one of the heaviest stick insects in existence. Females can weigh over an ounce and boast bright green bodies with spines on their hind legs. One well-known caretaker at a nature reserve recounted how a startled nymph latched onto his arm, leaving a series of tiny pinprick scratches. Despite this, they're mostly docile when handled gently. They often remain motionless, blending in with leaves and twigs to avoid predators. If threatened, they may flutter their small wings or raise their thorax in a scorpion-like posture. Nymphs feed on a range of plant leaves, including guava, bramble, and hibiscus. With their slow, careful movements and surprisingly robust bodies, these insects fascinate anyone lucky enough to see them among the foliage. Cicada killer wasp. Cicada killer wasps look imposing with their 2-inch-long bodies, bold stripes, and large wings. Found across the Americas, they tunnel into the ground to build nests. In midsummer, these wasps hunt cicadas, seizing them with strong jaws and delivering a paralyzing sting. One documented case in Texas described a homeowner witnessing a single wasp hefting a stunned cicada twice its size into an underground burrow. Despite their menacing name, cicada killers rarely target humans, reserving their stings for prey or serious threats. They're actually considered beneficial for reducing cicada populations, which can damage tree growth. Females deposit eggs on the immobilized cicada, ensuring an immediate food supply for emerging larvae. Though they may chase off perceived intruders, their solitary nature means large-scale attacks on humans are highly unlikely. SIAFU, African driver ants. These African driver ants move in sprawling columns of thousands, sweeping through forests and savannas on relentless hunts. Accounts by field researchers detail entire swarms overrunning campsites, devouring anything from beetles to small vertebrates. Their powerful mandibles can inflict painful bites, and some African tribes have even used soldier ants as makeshift surgical sutures, letting the ants clamp onto wounds before removing the bodies. Each colony revolves around a queen who can lay millions of eggs, ensuring a continuous supply of hungry mouths. When food grows scarce, the colony relocates en masse, forming temporary bivouacs. As unstoppable as they appear, these ants also benefit their surroundings by cleaning up carcasses and preying on pests. If faced with a moving driver ant column, best to step aside. Resistance is usually futile. Goliath stick insect. Native to Australia, the Goliath stick insect can reach lengths of nearly 9 inches. Its thick, ridge-covered body gives it an intimidating look. Tour guides in Queensland have shared encounters where unsuspecting hikers brushed against branches, only to find these giant insects clinging to them. Although they appear aggressive when they rear up and display spiny hind legs, they rarely harm humans. Their main strategy is camouflage, matching bark, twigs, or leaf litter. Males often fly short distances with their small wings, while heavier females rely more on stealth and blending in. At night, they feed on eucalyptus and other foliage, recycling nutrients through their leaf-chomping habits. Goliath stick insects have fascinated scientists with their ability to regenerate lost limbs during molting, a remarkable feat of biological repair. Dragonheaded katydid. Sporting a striking sculpted head that resembles mythical dragons, these katydids dwell in Southeast Asian rainforests. A research expedition in Borneo once documented a bright pink and green, dragon-headed katydid perched quietly on a mossy branch. Its wingspan can approach 4 inches, making it a sizable leaf-mimicking insect. When approached by potential threats, it may extend bright-colored underwings as a startled display. Some species emit a sharp hiss or produce defensive secretions with an unpleasant taste. Although they mainly eat leaves, certain species occasionally include smaller insects in their diet. Their elaborate camouflage allows them to vanish among vines, but wildlife photographers who manage to spot them are rewarded with a truly alien visage. Their mesmerizing blend of vibrant colors and spiky protuberances reminds everyone just how inventive nature can be. Atlas moth. The Atlas moth, named for the Titan Atlas of Greek mythology, has one of the largest wing surfaces of all moths. Each forewing tip even resembles a snake's head, thought to deter predators. In places like India, occasional sightings report these giant moths clinging to fruit stalls or resting near street lamps. Adults may have wingspans surpassing 10 inches, yet they hardly feed, sustaining themselves on reserves from the caterpillar stage. The caterpillars munch through copious leaves, sometimes used by local farmers as a source of silk. Once they pupate within a robust cocoon, the adult emerges with dramatic chestnut and cream patterns. Despite their massive size, they can flutter gracefully at dusk in search of mates. The short adult lifespan, often under 2 weeks, is dedicated primarily to reproduction. Dragonfly hunter cicada. This gargantuan cicada, also called Tacua speciosa, inhabits Southeast Asia. With a wingspan of nearly 8 inches, it dwarfs many other cicada species. During peak emergence seasons in Borneo, farmers describe the forests echoing with the loud, rattling calls of these giants. They sport metallic colors, green, black, or blue, and can appear almost mechanical. Although their large size can be unsettling, they feed mostly on tree sap, using a needle-like proboscis. They occasionally fall prey to birds and predatory wasps, but their sheer size and swift flight keep many dangers at bay. Some rural communities use their emergence to anticipate rainy seasons, seeing them as natural clocks in the forest cycle. The spectacle of these insects swirling amid tall canopies at twilight is a reminder of nature's magnificent variety. Actaeon beetle. Cousin to the elephant and rhinoceros beetles, the Actaeon beetle resides in the rainforests of South America, especially in countries like Brazil and Peru. Males can stretch over 5 inches, with thick, curved horns, forming a robust Y shape on the thorax. One documented observation featured a researcher noticing 2 males battling for control over a feeding site, using their horns to topple each other from a tree trunk. Such shows of strength are short-lived, as adult lives revolve around breeding and can last just a few months. Larvae, hidden in rotting wood, spend years feeding and growing. Though quite large, Actaeon beetles prefer evasion to aggression when encountering humans. Their tough shells and awe-inspiring horns make them prized by collectors, but conservationists urge caution to keep populations stable in the wild. From colossal beetles to stealthy stick insects, the world's biggest and most dangerous bugs remind us that truth can outdo fiction. Thanks for watching.